students! Welcome to class.
La 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 la. Oh my God, it's vegan pizza. La 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 la. Oh my God, it's vegan pizza. Yeah.
My name is Miss Katie. I am That Vegan Teacher, and today is Happy Vegan Declaration Day. Now, some of you are probably saying, wait a second, wasn't it Happy Vegan Declaration Day yesterday? And you would be right. Because Vegan Declaration Day is every single day, because every single day there are new people on earth who are declaring that they are going to be vegan from now on, to stop hurting the animals. And today I have a list here of a few people who wrote to me on my Patreon. By the way, if you're interested in supporting my work here, you can go to Patreon. It's in the link down there, somewhere down there, and support my work on a regular basis, which is always great. And the people here that wrote to me are people who decided to become vegan after seeing this channel and after getting their 100 clicks. It takes 100 clicks to become vegan, and so this is really great. Now, I'm not sure, I don't remember where everybody's from, but I know that there's two people here, Rosita and Brian, and they told me they were from Prince Edward Island, which is in my country here in Canada, so that would be on the East Coast. We have Amanda and Christine, who are sisters. They became vegan, and they said that they are in university, so that's cool. We have Sadie, who is also vegan now, and we have Benjamin and Edward, who are two guys who said they were about 30 and their dad's steward. Something like that. Like, I don't know, that's a kind of a neat combination, isn't it? Two men in their 30s, like brothers, and then their dad. That's neat. We also have someone named Jean-Francois, who is here in Quebec City, and we have Marcel, who is from somewhere in France. I'm not sure where. So thank you to you guys. And I think it's the first time that I have, how many men are here? At least half of them are men. That's really unusual. They're very cool. So we're going to be singing the Happy Vegan Declaration Day song. Are you guys ready? Get out your ukuleles. Here we go. Should I use this pick or not? Wait, should I use the pick? Oh yeah, let's use it. Happy Vegan Declaration Day to you. Happy Vegan Declaration Day to you. Whether you've been vegan for a lifetime or just a minute, welcome to the club. We're so glad you're in it. Happy Vegan Declaration Day to you. Happy Vegan Declaration Day to you. Everywhere around the world, animals are lining up to thank you for your compassion and for allowing your hearts to open up. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. Whether you're vegan or not, whether you're on the journey to becoming vegan, I'm just happy that you're here. Oh, have you guys seen my mug yet? I have actually 4 mugs like this. They're all different. This one says, animals are friends, not food. And you can buy these mugs on the link below. They make a great gift because they're going to last a lifetime. And all the donations go to people who are saving animals or to help provide food for animals that are saved. I make, like, I don't know, I make just a couple of bucks on each cup. And so it's not for money, but it's just in case you guys like this type of thing. It's a way to get some cool mugs. They're a great conversation starter also. If you're at work and you have this on your desk, people are going to be like, hey, and they're going to get a click. So there's one with cows, there's one with chickens, and there's one with a lamb on it. Anyway, today we are going to be looking at this YouTuber whose name is Brooke Goldner, and her site here is called Goodbye Lupus. So Dr. Goldner. So I've prepared a paper here, and we are going to be giving her some check marks when we like what she's doing, and we're going to be giving her some X's if she says something that kind of doesn't make very much sense. It's a really, really short video, so let's look at it together. All right? Now I think it starts by her being interviewed by somebody else. Here, let's have a look. Okay, there's like a preview or something, a pre-something. I haven't seen the whole thing yet, but anyway, I just saw a little bit of it.
Follow that, where now if you meet a smoker, it's kind of weird, like you smoke, like
Yeah.
Who does that, right? It'll be that way. I think one day we'll be like, you eat meat, you know?
Okay, let's pause that for 1 second. That's already kind of cool. That's a really neat introduction. I'm going to give it a check mark. So that looked like a lovely person who's interviewing her. Check mark for that. And a check mark to Dr. Goldner, who's making this interesting comment, which is something that I've been saying all along, also that in the future, people are going to look back on us and they're going to be like, how could your generation have eaten animals? That's so weird. Right now we don't see it. It's like when we think back to how could people have slaves, we think, how could you have treated other humans that way? So awful. Or how could people, the Nazis, have put the Jews in gas chambers? It's so awful. How could that have happened? Well, we're also going to look back on these times right now, and we're going to look back on ourselves, and our grandkids and even our kids are going to be saying, how come you guys could eat animals? Like, that's so weird. Why did you do that if you didn't have to? So let's keep watching.
Bacon and all processed meats have been labeled by the FDA as a level 1 carcinogen.
Okay, this is super interesting. Did you hear that? So, meats, processed meats have been labeled as class 1 carcinogens. So, excellent point. That's another thing that I've been trying to tell you guys. So, this is great to have it confirmed here.
Bacon and all processed meats have been labeled by the FDA.
So bacon is included as a processed meat.
As a level 1 carcinogen. So how are doctors still promoting?
Well, no, the problem is it was labeled by the World Health Organization.
Oh, the World Health Organization.
Yeah, the FDA is staying quiet. And that's the problem. And I think this will change.
Okay, so the World Health Organization has stated that being vegan is good for us. And what she's talking about here, Dr. Goldner, is the FDA and how they are just so slow to get into it. Let's just listen again, because this young woman at the beginning talks about bacon. But do you guys know what processed meats are? It's like bacon, but it's any other altered meat, like pepperoni or salami, ham, things like that.
By the FDA as a level 1 carcinogen. So how are doctors still promoting?
Well, no, the problem is it was labeled by the World Health Organization.
Oh, the World Health Organization.
Yeah, the FDA is staying quiet. And that's the problem. And I think this will change. I mean, it's very much a similar story if you look at smoking, right? That back in the 60s when smoking was super cool and you were annoying if you were a non-smoker, just like vegans are annoying, right? That you're annoying if you're a non-smoker, and smoking's everywhere. It's in your face. It's next to you in an airplane. You can't get away from it, like a lot of plant-based people feel, right? And back then in the 60s and in the 50s when they were promoting this, there was already research showing that cigarettes was causing lung disease, emphysema, possibly lung cancer, and yet it continued on. FDA didn't take a stance. And finally, I think it was the 80s when they finally gave into the pressure and said, cigarettes cause cancer.
Exactly. This is such a great point. This is so wonderful to hear somebody else saying this, because my experience as a young nurse, I did say it in several videos in the past, but when I first became a nurse, people were actually smoking on the ward where we were charting, at the desk, everyone was charting, and somebody was blowing smoke in my face. Now, I never really liked smoking because my dad used to smoke, and he'd even smoke in the car with the windows closed. So that was really not fun. But yeah, there was a lot of smoking going on until not that long ago. And I remember even as a nurse, when I had a patient who said she desperately needed a cigarette, but she was on oxygen. She wanted to go downstairs, to have a cigarette, because the patients weren't allowed to smoke in bed. That was just for safety. But she wanted to go off the ward to, I think it was the cafeteria or somewhere to meet a friend or something, or just, I can't remember the details, but I know that she wanted to go downstairs, and I said, well, I'm not taking you. That's just unethical. I can't take you when you're on oxygen to go and have a cigarette. And the head nurse at the time said, you have to. If that's what she wants, then you have to do it. But meanwhile, I was so busy and I'm taking time away from other patients who actually were trying to take care of themselves. So that was a really weird thing. But then gradually over time, thankfully, they started to phase out smoking in the hospitals altogether. And now here in Montreal, there's actually a law that you can't even smoke within a certain amount of feet from the hospital entrance, which is yes. So in that sense, it is great to see that society is progressing. And in the same way that smoking is being phased out, eating meat is also going to be phased out. It just has to. It is not sustainable on this planet. Animals exist in their own right. They have a right to control their own lives and bodies. They have intrinsic value and are not ours to exploit or kill. Using animals for food, clothing, research, etc. violates their basic rights and is therefore morally unacceptable.
Be kind, be vegan.
Forcing animals to endure mutilation, separation from family, isolation, immobility, disease, and acute and chronic pain are all reprehensible and unethical. Moreover, these atrocities are completely unnecessary and a blatant violation of their most fundamental rights.
Be kind, be vegan.
Vegans strive to eliminate support for and consumption of anything that requires animals to be abused, exploited, or killed. Meat, milk, eggs, leather, wool, down, fur, etc. are all derived by violating animals' rights and they're therefore not vegan.
Be kind, be vegan. Thank you for listening to this melody. Now you know you can be vegan, you'll feel great, you will see. Thank you for listening to this song. If you like to click the like button and sing along.
The problem is it was labeled by the World Health Organization.
Oh, the World Health Organization.
Yeah, the FDA is staying quiet. And that's the problem. And I think this will change. I mean, it's very much a similar story if you look at smoking, right? That back in the 60s when smoking was super cool and you were annoying if you were a non-smoker, just like vegans are annoying, right? That you're annoying if you're a non-smoker.
She's saying that vegans are annoying, but she's saying it tongue-in-cheek because, of course, she herself is vegan. So she's saying that vegans are annoying because they're always sort of reminding people that there's death on their plates and that it's not good for the environment and that, you know, eating these processed meats causes cancer. It is linked with cancer, and even other meats are linked with cancer. And so, you know, we are always there trying to be the voice of reason and trying to make the world a better place, but we are considered annoying. In the same way that when there's a smoker around, they consider the people non-smokers to be annoying. They're like, why are you telling me not to smoke? And why can't I smoke on the bus? And why can't I smoke in the office? And things like that. So, yeah.
And smoking's everywhere. It's in your face. It's next to you in an airplane. You can't get away from it, you know, like a lot of plant-based people feel, right?
Plant-based people feel that way about the meat. They can't get away from it. It's in your face. We're driving down the street and we see the McDonald's sign and we see the Burger King signs and we see I don't know about you guys, we have all these other restaurants, all kinds. I'm not going to start naming them all, but you know the ones I mean. They're always in our faces, always advertisements. Even in my house, when I get the flyers that tell us, you know, what's on sale that week, it's full of different animal products in there, meat and dairy and cheeses and eggs and all kinds of yogurt and things like that are not vegan. So it's always in our faces.
And speciesism, and speciesism, and speciesism, be kind to the animals. And vegan phobia, and vegan phobia, and vegan phobia, be kind to the activists. Dance if you're vegan, hands up if you're vegan. Think you can't do it? Try it, you can. Yeah.
And back then, in the 60s and in the 50s, when they were promoting this, there was already research showing that cigarettes was causing lung disease, emphysema, possibly lung cancer. And yet it continued on. FDA didn't take a stance. And finally, I think it was the 80s, when they finally gave into the pressure and said, cigarettes cause cancer.
Do you see how she's acting it out? Cigarettes cause cancer. Like, oh, by the way, we should have said something ages ago, but we're only getting around to it now. So Surgeon General warning, smoking causes lung cancer, heart disease, emphysema, and may complicate pregnancy. Like, no kidding. Who would want to have a baby inside of them and then just be smoking and giving that baby this polluting factor? And even just smoking on its own, doesn't it seem strange to you? Do you guys know smokers in real life? Like, doesn't it seem odd to you that somebody would deliberately, like, commit suicide in slow motion right in front of your eyes? It's so bizarre. We need to learn how to love ourselves. Guys, it's time for hugs. Give yourself a hug. You know, love yourself. Take care of yourself. I don't just mean superficially with makeup and long fake nails and fake eyelashes and all that crap. I mean really. Really love yourself. Like, appreciate the good things that you're doing in life. Let's keep going.
And so all of a sudden now doctors were like, oh crap, cigarettes cause cancer, so now I have to quit smoking. And
I'm going to stop there and give her a check mark for that, because that is so great that she is acknowledging that part. Yeah, because now the doctors, if they know it causes cancer, they kind of have to stop smoking. You know, it'd be like your gym teacher smoking a cigarette and saying, hey, go run some laps around the gym. You know, like, It's just crazy. I remember the doctors on my ward who were smoking. And sometimes also you see doctors who are really overweight and you wonder to yourself, what's going on with them? Like, surely they must know that this is not good for them. And surely they must know that their patients are looking to them for an example of some sort. Now, I'm not saying that every doctor needs to be in perfect shape or that every gym teacher even needs to be in perfect shape. But if you're trying to encourage others, you should at least not do the thing that you don't think they should do. If you don't think that someone should smoke, maybe you could kind of stop smoking, Make sense?
I got to teach my patients that. So, doctors are eating poorly too. They don't want.
Absolutely. Check mark. I mean, even I know that some of my people here, some of my YouTubers, watchers, subscribers, have told me that their own doctors still eat meat, some of them. Some of the doctors still eat bacon and still go to places like McDonald's. Like, this is just nuts. Even nurses. Sometimes if you drive up to the hospital, you can see staff outside still smoking. Less and less, of course, which is great. But, these people have got to get going because they're the ones who should be leading the way. So congratulations to her, Dr. Goldner, for talking about this. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but you see behind her, there's a book. It says here, Goodbye Lupus. So this is a book that she wrote. And she herself had lupus, but then got rid of all of the symptoms. See the name of the channel here? Goodbye Lupus by Brooke Goldner, medical doctor.
Are you vegan yet? What are you waiting for? Are you vegan yet? Open the vegan door.
Want to know this stuff, right? I mean, some do. It's changed. I've taught rooms of hundreds of doctors and health providers who want to learn this. One room over 600, they want to learn this. But a lot of them, they don't want to change their diet either. So I think it's going to follow that, where now if you meet a smoker, it's kind of weird. Like, you smoke? Like,
Yeah.
Who does that, right? It'll be that way. I think one day we'll be like, you eat meat? Like, it reminded me of, I don't know if you're a Trekkie, but I grew up as a Trekkie. And the first episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation that came out in the 80s, the very first episode, all right, they beam aboard this primitive people, and they have their livestock with them. And I think somebody else was said to the first officer, like, they kill animals for food, and he goes,
we no longer enslave animals for food purposes.
That is so cool. Yes, we no longer enslave animals. That was a video in the 80s? I didn't know that. I never used to be a Trekkie. Maybe I should watch Star Trek. That sounds really neat. Oh my God. Like, what? Cool.
It'll be that way. I think one day we'll be like, you eat meat? Like, it reminded me of, I don't know if you're a Trekkie, but I grew up as a Trekkie. And the first episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation that came out in the 80s, the very first episode, all right, they beam aboard this primitive people, and they have their livestock with them. And I think somebody else was said to the first officer, like, they kill animals for food, and he goes,
we no longer enslave animals for food purposes.
and I was like, that was in the 80s. Yeah. First episode of Star Trek: Next Generation, and I was like, that's the future.
Yay! That is so great. Oh, that was great. I love that. Oh, amazing. All right, so her name is Dr. Goldner, Brooke Goldner, and of course, she got a really good grade on this assignment. Her presentation was great. She got an A+. I got nothing bad to say. So good job. If anybody else here is considering being vegan, subscribe to this channel. I have a subscribe button. Subscribe and press the notification bell. Do you see the subscribe button down there? You see it? So if you press the subscribe button and then you press the notification bell and you make sure your notifications are on your phone, then every time a new video is put out, you can come and you can be part of the conversation when I do a premiere, which is almost all the time, unless the video is really short or for some other reason, but I do a premiere. So then you can come and you can comment. Just write down some comments down below in the comments as the premiere is going on. And if you are an ethical vegan and you want to teach here on this channel, that's great too, no problem. You just have to write your name in a certain way so that I know that you are serious, So you write your first name, whatever it is, let's say it's Brooke, and then you write _vegan, and then you write underscore, so then you put the city that you're in and the country that you're in and your age at the end. And the reason we do that is so that we can see who is from where, and we can kind of, people have become friends. Like I know 2 people in Canada here who kind of connected on my site. It's kind of cool. But yeah. So that's what we do, and we also know where people's time zones are. Like if somebody's in Australia, I know they won't be able to moderate if I'm moderating at my time, noon, because they will be asleep over there because it will be midnight. Anyway, thank you all for being here. Coming up on screen are going to be a bunch of other videos. Click on them. Be curious, look around that site, That Vegan Teacher site. There's all kinds of videos in the past. There's different songs that I've composed. There are people in the videos who are like really great vegans with recipes and things like that. There's also some terrible people who are abusing animals, and there's some others. Unfortunately, I do show some of the violence that goes on in the meat, dairy, and egg industries because it's important that you guys know about that. And you can also go and watch a video called don'twatch.org. Don'twatch.org. It's only about 6 or 7 minutes long. If you haven't seen it yet, please go and do that so you'll know why I am here and why it is so important that you have your Happy Vegan Declaration Day in the future. All right, so that's it for now. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye for now, guys.
Let's follow That Vegan Teacher on YouTube right now.